I can remember being at the school picking up my boys, and I would wait in the car until the last moment, and then I'd get out, let the boys know where I was. I didn't want to go and stand on the pathway with all these other people and not be able to communicate.
Laura had lived for 10 years in France, a decade of studying the language. She'd even raised her children there. And yet she was hiding from other parents because she couldn't speak the language. But then she discovered something that changed everything. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what was blocking Laura from speaking French for an entire decade, even though she'd been studying the whole time. I'll reveal the one psychological shift that unlocked her confidence almost overnight. And I'll share 3 real examples from her story that prove this isn't about grammar, vocab, or how hard you study. It's about something nobody talks about. But first, let me show you just how isolated Laura felt before this breakthrough. Because if you've ever felt stuck in your language learning, or if you've ever avoided situations where you'd have to speak, you'll recognize yourself in this.
I was just sort of a spectator of life. I'd kind of almost isolated myself from life, and I was only living a half life, watching other people live. And, if you sit at a table and lots of people are talking around and having dinner, and your only contribution is just to kind of sit there and go, try and smile at the right place, nod at the right place, you're not really living.
That's what a decade of avoidance does. Laura wasn't just struggling with French, she was building up resentment towards it, anger, shame at the language, at herself. And the more she tried, the worse it got. And before I show you exactly what changed for Laura, I want to give you something that can help you avoid her decade of frustration. I've created a free French conversation starter kit, and inside you'll find, among many other things, a worksheet that helps you identify the exact limiting beliefs that might be holding you back from speaking French confidently. It's the same process Laura used to break through. You can download it right now using the link in the description. Filling this out for yourself is going to make what I'm about to tell you even more powerful. So what was blocking Laura? Well, it turns out she'd been waiting for something that was never going to come.
When I was 17, I went to Germany, went on a German exchange, and I can remember being there for 1.5 weeks, not understanding anything that was said. And I suddenly realized I can understand everything that everyone's saying. And when I moved to France, I thought that was going to happen for me after a few months or maybe a year, and it never did.
For 10 years, somewhere deep down, Laura was waiting for that thunderclap moment, that magical instant where French would suddenly become clear and easier. But here's the thing, that moment never came in Germany because of magic. It came because she'd been immersed, practicing, making mistakes for a week and a half. Her brain had been working the whole time, she just hadn't noticed. And once Laura realized she'd been waiting for something that didn't exist, everything shifted. Tout a changé.
And once I'd accepted it, it was like this massive weight was lifted off my shoulders. I was free to start my life again, start afresh.
Now, here's where it gets really interesting, because everyone kept telling Laura the same thing. Just dare. Osez. Her sons told her, her teachers told her, just speak, just dare. And she'd think, I can't. But it wasn't because she was a coward.
You can't dare to do something until you have the confidence to do something. And I didn't have the confidence to do the thing until I'd worked out what was stopping me from speaking French in the first place.
This is the paradox so many language learners face. People tell us to just practice more or just speak. But if you haven't addressed the mental barrier, the limiting belief, the shame, the perfectionism that's built up over many years, then all the practice in the world won't help. Laura had to discover her beliefs first. Only then could she let them go. And once she did, things changed quickly.
So now with the confidence, I will seek out opportunities to speak, whereas before I would avoid them. It's hard to kind of stop me now from talking to people.
So here's what actually changed Laura's life. It wasn't a new course, it wasn't a better teacher, it wasn't more vocabulary drills, it wasn't even more of my videos on YouTube. It was discovering she had limiting beliefs in the first place.
I'd never thought of learning French from a psychological approach. The most valuable thing for me in my French learning journey or challenge was changing my mindset. That's the thing that has unlocked everything. And it was the most important thing, in fact, was letting go of my limiting beliefs. But the thing was, before I could even do that, I had to discover that I had them.
Think about that. Laura didn't even know limiting beliefs existed. She didn't know her brain had been quietly sabotaging her for a decade. But once she identified them, once she wrote them down, looked at them, and realized they weren't true, she was free. And now she has a mantra. I don't care, I just dare.
So I've got this mantra now, which is, I don't care, I just dare. And if I can mention Tottenham, my football team, their motto is Audere est facere, which is daring is doing. And I understand that even more now, because you just have a go.
Laura went from hiding in her car to seeking out conversations, from being a spectator of life to actually living it. And it all started with une question. What if the thing holding me back isn't my French, but my mind? Now, Laura spent 10 years hiding from other parents at the school gate. 10 years of excuses. My accent's not good enough. I need more vocabulary first. I'll embarrass myself. Sound familiar? Here's the truth. It wasn't her French that was holding her back. It was her beliefs about what she needed before she could speak. That's why I made this video breaking down the most common excuses French learners use to avoid speaking, and why every single one of them is keeping you stuck. Because once you see through these excuses like Laura did, everything changes. So click here to watch it now, and I'll see you over there. Plus, it's in French, so it's good for a bit of comprehension practice.